Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's the final days of our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
I had my first situationship. And I do not recommend at all. I suffered quite a lot. And I also would recommend that you do not wear your heart on your sleeve, especially when you are in a situationship, because you will most definitely get hurt.
If you love me, let me fly away. Maybe I'll come back to you. Maybe I won't.
Welcome back to the King of Hearts podcast hosted by me. I have been not hurt, but maybe my ego's been a little bit bruised from the experience that I've just had. If you do not remember, or if you do follow me on TikTok and Instagram, I posted a video saying that I was going on a date with a New York man. Well, the results are in. Do not date a New York man. No, I'm joking. I'm sure there are nice guys out there, but unfortunately, my situation was not great. I will go into this in very much a lot of detail. And this is just to say this whole episode is basically about how, getting into a situationship, it will hurt you. And just do not do it. If you're in a situationship right now, I beg of you, unless you know, really, 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 really know that you're okay, which most girls and guys that I've spoken to who are in situationships or have been in situationships are like, that was the worst experience of my life. Because there's this whole, are we together? Are we not together? But anyway, I want to start with our controversial quote of the week before I get into it. This is the quote, and I actually saw this on a TikTok video. This girl said, if you have to wonder whether he likes you or not, he most probably does not. I couldn't agree more. If you have to wonder, and I wondered, and I started to wonder, it's because if you're wondering whether a man likes you or not, he does not, okay? If a guy is giving you mixed signals, he just doesn't like you enough. And I know, sometimes we have to just admit he's just not that into you. And I know it's hard to process and to accept because I guess when it comes to ego, we want to be wanted and we want to be seen as number one. And then when you realize, oh, he's actually just not that into me because he's either giving mixed signals or he doesn't want to put a label on it or he doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, you have to just take the L. Just take the L. Taking the L means taking the loss. And that's absolutely fine because what is really and truly meant for you will not pass you by. I'm going to go into my own situationship that I just went through. So I can't believe I'm telling you this, but you know what? It's all a lesson. And I feel like through what I'm learning or through what I've learned, hopefully I can help you avoid making the same mistakes as me. So I met this guy like 2 months back. We met on holiday. I wasn't like really, really attracted to him at first. I was just like not even that physically attracted to him. I think I just wasn't in the mindset really of wanting to be with anyone. And as the holiday kind of went on, he kind of charmed me. His personality is very charming, and he, was very nice. And I was like, oh, he's a really nice guy. Maybe I should go for the nice guy. Ha! Plot twist. The nice guys can also be dicks. And that's not to say, because he did say to me after we kind of ended, he was like, I'm sure you're probably going to talk about this in your podcast. And I was like, yeah, funnily enough, I am. But I don't want to like chat shit about him because he is actually a nice person. I don't think he is a bad human being. I just think he wasn't that into me, and that is fine. I think it's almost my own fault for getting my hopes up, for also wearing my heart on my sleeve, and for opening my heart up too much to someone who probably doesn't deserve it. Or at least I should have taken more time. I shouldn't have just given my everything to this person without thinking, oh, maybe I should just hold back a little bit and be more of a cat. You know how cats take time to warm up to someone. I should have been more of a cat instead of a dog who just wants to give you all their love immediately, which is what I did. I kind of met him and I was like, okay, at first a little bit standoffish, but then I was like, oh, this is so nice and he's a nice guy and blah, blah, blah. And I've been single now for like quite a few months, coming up to a year. Yeah, I got to know him and I felt like I could trust him, and I opened my heart up, and I think I opened my heart up a little bit too much because I basically gave him my heart and he stabbed it. And I shouldn't have given him my heart. It's not his fault. Like, he doesn't owe me anything and I didn't owe him anything. But we got into this situationship after the holiday, and it was obviously long distance because, me, I love my long distance. What does that say about me? Old habits die hard. If you don't know, I am a sucker for long distance relationships. And I was like, oh, this could be fun again. And he even said to me, he was like, that the long distance is probably going to be the hardest thing for us. And I was like, no, I was being delusional. I was like, it's fine. Like, if anything, I'll move to you or you can move to me. And I was being honestly delulu. Like, this girl, we all learn from our mistakes, okay? And I have learned really hard from this mistake. Not to say that he was a mistake, because I do think that we had an amazing time together. And, the holiday that we went on was really magical and we had some amazing memories, and I wouldn't take that away. And then I went to New York with my family and he was there and we spent some time together. We spent Halloween together and it was amazing. It was the best Halloween I have ever had. But I think I gave my heart away too quickly. And this is one thing that I would definitely recommend if you are into someone right now, or you're starting to get to know someone. Please, 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 that person needs to deserve your energy. That person needs to deserve your heart, and you shouldn't be giving your heart away to people so easily, which is what I did. I gave my heart away on a silver platter and was like, yeah, please take it. But that's not his responsibility. Like, he probably, liked me, but not that much, because what ended up happening was when I left New York, my best friend happened to be there as well. And they all went out together because we were all friends. And I had this gut feeling in my heart that he probably was getting with someone else. Well, actually, we went to a Halloween party, and there were two Halloween parties. The first Halloween party, there was this girl there, and I had this like sixth sense of like, she wanted him, or they'd had a history. And I just knew it. And I got really, really jealous of this one girl. All the other girls I didn't care about. With this one girl, I was like, I don't know why, but we women, we always know. We always have a sixth sense. And he, said to me, he was like, I want to be honest with you. Yeah, I went on a few dates with this girl like 2 years back, but she doesn't mean anything to me anymore. And just want to let you know. And I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. So it kind of put me off edge. And I didn't really care that much. I was just like, I just had a feeling that there was something there with him and her. And I ignored it and blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, don't worry about her. You don't have to worry about her. You know what happens? I did have to worry about her. And it's always when they say, oh, it's always the girl they say not to worry about. That is the girl you should be worrying about. Like 100%. And if you have a gut feeling, that's another thing I would definitely recommend is listen to your intuition. Your intuition is always right. And my intuition was right. But at the end of the day, because I was in a situationship with this person, we were not exclusive. He could get with anyone he wanted. I could get with anyone I wanted, which again is such muddy water. This is why I'll never be in a situationship ever again. Because to me, it was a situationship. Like we were acting as if we were in a relationship, but with no label. And I feel like you can't have your cake and eat it. Like I'm a freaking queen. Like you should want to be only with me. And I think I was just too naive. And I also definitely liked him probably more than he liked me. And that's not to say, you know, I didn't get to know other people as well. But what happened, which I will then go on to explain, is something that I would never do, just out of respect. Because if you like someone, you just don't do that to them. And it showed me that he just didn't care enough, which is absolutely fine. But it really hurt me. And it shouldn't have hurt me as much as it did, because I, again, gave my heart out so easily to someone that I barely knew. And you cannot do that. You know, you shouldn't do that. Someone needs to deserve your love. Someone needs to deserve you giving them your heart. And that takes time and it takes effort. And he didn't put enough effort, to be honest. And I was like, oh, take my heart. I'm going to wear my heart on my sleeve because I am a hopeless romantic, but I'm also naive. And I think you can still be a hopeless romantic, but also be careful with your heart and be wary with who you give your heart to and be slow with who you give your heart to, because your heart should be deserved, you know? Your heart should be taken care of. And if you just throw it out willy-nilly, of course you're going to get hurt. You know, of course I was going to get hurt.
We're just going to take a pause there and we'll be back after this break.
So basically, when I left New York, this girl that he told me not to worry about, there was this party that my best friend went to and he happened to be at the club. And I was feeling a little bit anxious. I was back home and I called her up a few days later and I was like, by the way, did he behave well? Like, you know, because usually if you like someone and their best friend is there, you know, you're going to be on your best behavior, right? And she said to me, no, he actually wasn't on his best behavior. And my heart fell through my chest. And I was like, I almost knew it. I almost knew, but I couldn't blame anyone but myself for getting myself into that situation, for caring enough, because I shouldn't have cared enough. But I did, because I'm sensitive and I am a hopeless romantic and I'm a lover girl, and I will never stop being a lover girl and a hopeless romantic just because I've been hurt once or twice. And I think that is something that, as much as I will have been hurt, hopefully it doesn't happen again, because I would have learnt from this whole situationship. I will never get in a situationship again where there's blurred lines, or where, you know, you're non-monogamous, as the New Yorkers love to call it. We're non-monogamous. Like, you know, you should expect that, like, I'm going to get with other people. Okay, well, I didn't expect. I thought you liked me, you know, because if you really like someone. Anyway, going back to, sorry, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, so she was like, yeah, he wasn't on his best behavior. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, yeah, he got with a girl in front of me. He got with a girl in front of my best friend. If that doesn't tell you or show you, because actions always speak louder than words, that person does not give a shit about you. That was my reality check of like, wow, okay, this guy really doesn't give a fuck. Like, he really doesn't care. And I thought he was a nice guy, but you know, sometimes the nice guys are also dicks. And that's not to say that he is a dickhead, but he made a dick move. He's not a bad guy, but he did something really disrespectful to me. And turns out that girl was the girl that I shouldn't have worried about from the party where I was with him and she was there. It was that same girl. I was like, of course. Like, obviously it really, really hurt. And I had to take some time to speak with him. but because I was just raging. I was so upset, and I called my friend and I was like, how could someone be that disrespectful? Like, fair enough, we weren't in a relationship, we were in a situationship, but for you to go and consciously know that the girl that you're seeing in a situationship, her best friend is there, you then go and get with a girl in front of her best friend. Like, it's just disrespectful. And everything that I'm saying now on the podcast is exactly what I said to him. So none of this is news. And he's probably going to listen to this, or his friends are probably going to listen to this and be like, oh my gosh, she's talking about him. But everything that I'm saying right now is exactly what I said to him on the phone. Again, I want to reiterate, I don't think he's a bad person. I think he's a nice person. He's just emotionally unavailable, and I should have known that from the beginning. And he actually made it clear that he was emotionally unavailable because he just came out of a relationship. Fair enough. You know, I saw everything that I should have seen, but I decided to not listen and to not see. I decided to not see with my eyes, even though he told me straight up, like, I'm not ready for a relationship. And I was like, I can change him. But no, you can't. You can't. And if he liked me enough, maybe he would be like, oh, okay, no, I am ready for a relationship with you. Because if someone says I'm not ready for a relationship, they're just not ready for a relationship with you. With you. And it's the hard truth. And I think sometimes we need to just accept the truth. And the truth was that he just wanted to have fun and have a fun time with everyone. And I wasn't willing to move forward with that because it was hurting me. Because when you like someone, you don't want them to see them getting with someone else in front of your best friend. So yeah, I called him and I just said, look, I respect you and I don't feel like you respect me. And there's a disbalance in this whole situationship. And I simply can't move forward with this relationship romantically. However, you know, we're in a similar friendship group. I would be happy to be friends because I think, you know, you can hate someone, you can be pissed and whatever. But at the end of the day, I do really want to be mature nowadays. Me last year would have literally like definitely not acted the way I'm acting now. But I do think these things can be handled maturely. And I also knew what I was getting myself into. Yes, I got burnt. But I have now learned so many lessons. Lesson 1 being, do not wear your heart on your sleeve. Number 2, do not give your heart away so easily. And number 3, if someone tells you they're not ready for a relationship, you should believe them. If someone tells you that they just want to see and go with the flow, believe them. And don't try and make it up in your head as if you can change them, because you can't change anyone. They should want to change for you. So I learned a lot, actually. And if anything, I'm grateful to God that I got to see the truth with my own eyes. Because imagine if I'd continued, you know, seeing this person who clearly was not that into me, I would have gotten more emotionally invested, you know, 3-4 months down the line, and then been hurt even more. Like, I'm glad it was only 1 month. So at the end of the day, all I have is gratitude for getting to know the reality of the situation. And yeah, it hurt, but it was necessary. And I always ask the universe and God or the universe, whatever you believe in, when I'm dating someone or if I'm like going on a date with someone, I always ask the universe, if this person is for me, keep him in my life. If this person is not for me, and if this person is not my divine partner, I know that's really cringe to say, but it's something that I read in a book called The Game of Life by Florence Scovel Shinn. You should read that book, by the way. If this person is not my divine partner, because at the end of the day, like, I want to have fun, but I'm also dating to marry at the end of the day. Like, I do want to have a family and children, and I don't want to waste my time. I'm 25, nearly 26. And yeah, when I asked that question, I got my answer. And the answer was him making out with another girl in front of my best friend. And I got my answer. And that's great. I'm so glad that I was able to, you know, realize just a few weeks in. Yeah, that is what I have experienced recently. Situationships are not for the faint-hearted. If you are an emotional person and if you are sensitive and if you do wear your heart on your sleeve, which I think, you know, someone recently said to me, try to be more like a cat. You are only going to get close to a cat with a lot of time. Okay, a cat is going to ignore you until time tells, until time goes on, and then a cat will come closer and closer, slowly, 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 and then it will love you so much. It takes a lot of time for a cat to trust you. And I think, you know, I was a little bit too trustworthy of maybe someone I shouldn't have trusted. Someone else is going to be super into me, and I don't want to be with someone who is just one foot in, one foot out. I want to be with someone and I want to date someone who is besotted by me, as I should, as anyone should, as you should. You should want to be with someone who really worships the ground you walk on and thinks you are God's gift. I really do, because you should believe that you are God's gift. So if you are with someone who doesn't believe you are God's gift, then they are not right for you, you know? And I also do believe, I think it comes a lot from self-worth. And actually, I'm so proud of myself. Through all of this, I maintained a lot of class. I was gracious in the way that I communicated with him after this whole situation happened. I could have been a bitch. Even right now, doing this podcast, I could have been so awful about him. I could have said so many horrible things about him, but I've chosen not to, out of respect. And the only reason I'm telling the story is because I want to be able to help anyone who is going through a situationship or has gone through a situationship to know that you're not alone. And like, you know, it's hard out there. The dating world is hard, but I don't think it has to be hard. I think if you value yourself, which is something, again, that I've learned, if I valued myself so highly and thought I was the shit, when someone comes along, I'm not just going to be like, oh yeah, love me, love me, love me. Because that's sometimes how I've been in the past, out of insecurity. You just want someone to give you this attention. But if I'm overflowing with self-love, if you're overflowing with self-love, and if someone comes in and they're like, oh, I want to be with you, but you have to do this and this and this for me, I'd be like, no, thank you. And also it would take me time to allow someone in because I have so much love for myself. What I'm trying to say is, if you value yourself so highly, you're not just going to let someone in that easily, because you're not going to be desperate for love. Because you've got so much love within you, you're not going to just give your heart out that easily, because you're like, well, I love myself so much and I respect myself so much that if you want to be with me, you have to gain my trust and you have to gain my respect and I have to gain your trust. And these things take time. You can have an instant connection with someone and still respect yourself enough to get to know someone slowly. And that's where I made a mistake. I didn't get to know someone slowly. I just jumped right in thinking very naively that was going to work, and it never does. Yeah, just don't get too carried away with emotions, because they can just like, take completely over. And then you almost lose respect for yourself, because you're like, I'll do anything for this person, but also lose my own self-respect in the process. You should always maintain your own respect. And if someone ever disrespects you, you have to learn to walk away. And that's exactly what I did. The moment he disrespected me, I was like, out of there. Like before that moment, he had never disrespected me. He'd always been super gentlemanly, so many lovely things for me. But that was disrespectful. And the moment he disrespected me, I walked away. Simple. Without arguing, without being mean or cursing, I walked away because I know my worth now. I know my value. And I would be disrespecting myself if I forgave that action. It would probably happen again and I would get hurt again. And I'm not interested in being hurt anymore. I only want to be in situations or relationships or dating people that make me happy and don't hurt me and don't disrespect me, as I should, because I am a goddess and so are you. And you deserve the absolute best. You deserve everything in the world. You deserve so much love and care and attention. And every relationship you are in should have mutual respect and mutual care. And if there is a disbalance, walk away. But walk away with grace. And if he is listening to this, I do wish you all the best. And I hope you are happy and you find someone that you don't want to ruin things with, because you have so much respect for that person that you would never go and ruin that, which I think we should all strive to have. And I will strive to get that as well. And I will. So yeah, that's it. I love you so much. And I'll see you in my next episode.
Maybe I won't.